Hello, greetings, my friends. I wanted to wish you a good day, a good Sunday. For I want to talk about philosophy here, and I want to address a very important traps, the traps of consciousness that prevents us from moving forward. This one is very, very important. It's about the critical mind. Well, I'm not denying the great critics of Immanuel Kant or the necessity to to challenge perception, but I want to say that we need to tune into the feeling side of life rather than the mental, the spirit of the reasoning. A lot more tuning to finding the good feeling thought that makes us feel good, tuning to the inner world and the love and the light of the inner world rather than always judging the outside world. Another one that's very important is denial. My mother had a little bumper sticker when she lived in Idaho in her car that says denial is not just a river in Egypt. For a lot of people live in denial of what is. But the critics are they create shadows within ourselves, and whatever we criticize ourselves or others are reflected upon us and create shadows and heavy burden to carry. So it is important to understand it is a trap. Even world leaders are people that are the most criticized in the world. But you can disagree with their action, their thoughts, their words, their actions, but do not criticize them. Send love and light to their inner self so they may be enlightened and find the right decision, for it is they have the biggest responsibility, and they are not enlightened, so they're going to make mistakes. So always judge you can always have an idea about what is being done, but never judge the person themselves, for the person themselves is divine. All persons are divine. It may not be accepted by everyone, but so it's more about enlightening the inner world and stop sending this judgment on people around you as well, because in the gospel, in Matthew's gospel, it is said you will be judged by the judgment you are judging with. You will be measured by the measure you are measuring with, and that is because God is one and God knows all. So you want to work on your harmlessness or your benevolence, your kindness, to become benign in relationship to all life, to have only good feelings in relationship to life. For only God can judge and condemn. Why does God can do it and we cannot do it? Is because God is omniscient. And when He judges a soul, it is through the eternal wisdom and the omniscient, the wisdom of the compassion of the omniscient. When He judges and condemns the soul, He condemns Himself first within the person, and He's doing it for the highest good of the person. So once you will become one with God and you will become omniscient, you will be free to judge and condemn. But until then, all judgment comes from ignorance and not from lucidity. Even the Buddha achieved enough lucidity to, when he condemned somebody or judged somebody, it wasn't the highest good of the person. It was by compassion to assist. It would send love and light to the person in order to enlighten the person so he could be raised into and understand its mistakes. So, and do not deny this. Those mistakes should not be denied as well. So for judgments are becoming shadows within ourselves, so it is important and to understand that. There is a mantra you want to repeat to yourself in this finding this light is I am the resurrection and the life. I am the resurrection and the life. For everything will come through the resurrection. We want to reestablish we want to heal the divine masculine and reinstate the divine feminine. For there is this Sophia, the Magdalene as well, and call on Mary Magdalene. She's a great ascended master, full of light, and Joshua, the Christ, the Christos and Sophia, to have those balanced force within yourself. Understand the divine feminine is more powerful than all the negative force. It just needs to be invoked, and those forces stand in silence, in waiting for the time to come. There is purification that needs to come before they can come into play. But this force of the divine feminine will smash into pieces, will completely destroy all the negative plant of the old world order. For there is this negative world government that is trying to, but they will not succeed. And then there is a positive world government. There will be a Christ-like decentralized, Christ-like government that will come and be put in place in the service of all people to coordinate the transition into a new world. We want to create this peace and harmony within ourselves. And understand for light and life is the same thing. For the central paradise is known as the central isle of light and life. It is the home of God, and so it is really, we want to tune in our thoughts to the center. Always turn your thought to the center, to God, and allow this memory to come back to you. And so, for fear is the enemy within the mind. There's fear. It is the only tools that the dark forces have in order to maintain their power. Once the fear has been dissolved, all the demons, everything, the negative extraterrestrial, all will go out into. They won't be able to stay because that's their fuel. And so seek the power of God within, the power of love. Understand that spirit is flexible, it is mutable, it is transmutable. It is the transmutability of God that makes it immovable. For when something disappears somewhere, something else appears somewhere else. When somebody dies somewhere, somebody is born somewhere else. And it is an eternal process, an eternal will that is... that God, when God accepts death, but is already reborn somewhere else. So it is an eternal process. Trust that life is eternal, and for there is great, amazing inner revelation that has been made into my consciousness that is beyond what can be. But I cannot talk about it just yet. I'm just very excited about it. For understanding also that when we want to awaken this Christ light within ourselves, this collective Messiah, the force of unconditional love and unconditional forgiveness, to let go of judgment, to awaken this Christ light. For all the ascended being and ascended master have recognized this divine Christ consciousness within themselves. And the Christ, when you look at his life, he was more interested by his relationship with God inside of him than how God would call it, the shifting sands of time. Even his crucifixion didn't really touch him all that much. For we're no longer in the age of Pisces, so we're no longer, the martyrdom is no longer an appropriate means by which to demonstrate our faith. But we don't need to be crucified in order to prove to God that we have faith within Him, in Him. But we want to tune into this relationship that is so essential and judge our judgment. Whenever we judge something, we can have ideas and disagree with people, but none is not judging them and condemning them, because this is really there are burdens that we need to carry afterwards. We need to learn to return to neutrality. We need to understand that frustration always comes from wanting to control something that we cannot control. So we get frustrated. So it's about letting go and trusting God and working in relationship to the inside and with those things we have power over, rather than trying to apply this power outside, which leads to frustration. And so, and look at things that makes you feel good and let go of everything else. We're looking for this good feeling source and cultivate that. From there, you will return to your true power. And then from there, you will be able to do the right action. For the heart knows, the heart is always there. The God is a permanent guiding system. And this is really the GPS of our life. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. And so I'm going to pull a few cards. So I wish you peace and harmony. To find this peace and harmony, we always move forward towards that each and every day. We want to stay focused on that. The highest wisdom for us today is the judgment. It's allowing God, for God can judge because He knows, but we do not know. So it's about accepting that there is a higher, to allow this higher intelligence to judge with wisdom, to reestablish the fairness, the balance, the harmony of things. For nothing escape the divine mind, and then there is the company of heaven and the angels that are the actor of that justice that will be coming. We have to be a bit patient. We've been in darkness for so long, for thousands of for hundreds of millennia. So it's like hundreds of centuries, let's say. So it takes a while to disconnect all those old programs and parameters, but the judgment of God will come. So let your Creator decide for you and trust God. God will always make the right decision for you. God will always be faithful to your highest path. What we need to understand is knowledge, for that is knowledge. To know that you do not know is the highest knowledge, and then you can receive ever more. What we need to do is learning. It's a learning process. We are being groomed to become ascended master. We are being trained. We are being prepared for this new level of experience in this earth plane. That will be far more integrated, and once we return to our power, we'll be able to not to impose, but to guide the whole, create new consensus to bring the light into peace and harmony. For that is really what we seek. And the extraterrestrials will be interfering a lot more. They're authorized. They need to assist in bringing this world peace. They have amazing mind, amazing technologies, amazing powers, and there are great beings in the universe that have unimaginable power and attributes that were given to them by God that have never showed up on the planet, but they may just decide to, if they're called on doing that, one thought could change everything. It's like there's some amazing spirits that we do not know. We have no clue about this divine connection. No matter how much we know, there is so much more to learn, and so always be open, always be void. Allow yourself to receive all the time, and your heart is always guiding you to what is important at any given moment. So I'm just expressing thoughts and ideas that I'm trying to make practical as well as wise, and to share my own experience. And the outcome will be generosity. We want to stay very generous, to share what we have, whether it is material or spiritual, and to be generous in our evaluation and appreciation of others. For some we are humans and we make mistakes, so it doesn't mean that we allow we do not want to be abused. We want to be strong and hold firm to what is this power of truth, this light of truth will set us free. And so we want to, but we want to be generous in relationship to the mistakes of others. We do not want to dwell on their mistake. If somebody is making a mistake, it's not to kick somebody that's already down on the floor, to help, to assist them to get up, rather than kicking them while they're on the floor. So be generous in your thoughts, in your mind first, is to send good thoughts into the planet. She needs it, and so she'll be very appreciative of that. Well, I'm sure I hope this resonates with you. Behind me, this is a portrait of its Lord Buddha, the three flowers of life and the Trinity that crowns him. And on the throat chakra, it says paradise. This sign in pencil, 2019. And behind it, there is like this tree of life behind him. And it says home. It says home. For the Buddha has discovered this temple, this body is his temple, is enlightened. Once you're enlightened, we're enlightened. We discover this body is a universe, it is rich, it is beautiful. It's just we have to cleanse it and clear it so that we can have this, discover this, there is the lower realm, the earth realm, the constellations, the universal realm, and then the celestial realm above. Everything is everything that's in the macrocosm is reflected in the microcosm. And this is a macrocosm. It's about the great super universe of Orvonton, with the central world, Uversa, and the 10 major sectors with the 1,000 minor sectors. And our planet is represented somewhere in the painting. I have to find it. For it is a pretty big universe. For it's like this super universe is the central is the home of 100,000 local universe, and each local universe is the home of up to 10 million inhabited world. And our own local universe, our star clouds, is a young universe, only 6 million inhabited, a little bit over 6 million inhabited world. Planets in evolution, but the nebula of Orion it just gave birth to new stars recently, and so. Is about to. It's all part in the vision realm. It's already happened, but in the physical realm, it might just happen. It's right about to. We'll find out that to create stars, it takes hundreds of billions of years, hundreds and hundreds of billions of years. The universe a lot longer, and making stars is a lot longer process than what we believe. But there is new stars that are just about to emerge and will be stabilized into new civilization. And so I'm not really sure if the Earth is represented in the painting. I thought it was. For if we were to look for the universe is really big, I'm not really sure. I'll look for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be here. Well, the Earth is not even represented in the painting, but our minor sectors is here. And so I'm going to finish with a song, since it's an old song, a kind of romantic song from the king of rock and roll. It goes like this. Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. But you're always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't hold you all those lonely, lonely times. And I guess I never told you I'm so happy that you're mine. If I make you feel second best, girl, I'm sorry I was blind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that your sweet love hasn't died. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. But you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Well, send greetings to Elvis. Wherever he is, for we never die. We can never die. We always keep going. Life keeps on going. But it's kind of sad. Sometimes we lose people that we love because they're departing here. So the sadness and the pain is always for those who stay, those who live. What happens after death is always relative to how we lived our life as well. It's just as unique. The afterlife is all just as unique as this life is. We all have a unique life down here. And so honor yourself, love yourself, and cultivate this inner light and love within yourself. And the card of the day is a wonderful card of the magician, the archangel Razir, the power of the one. It is the one card, the one. You are the one. You are the one that the magic can come through you. It says, tell life what you expect. As by magic, what you wish is appearing. Beginnings that are crowned with success. So it's like it's always in the power now to create magic, to allow the magic to happen within our life and to expect miracles. I thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful Sunday, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.